Welcome back everybody, Chris Bricks here, and today we got a new build. Now last week we built the green Challenger Hellcat wide body. I was really looking forward to that one because, as I mentioned a ton of times in the last video, that is my spec. If I could get a new one today, that's how I would spec it out to the T. With the exception of maybe getting the manual transmission. Automatic would be more convenient with all the heavy traffic around here, but I think it would be cool to row your own gears. Honestly, I don't have a preference over one over the other. It's whatever floats your boat. But unfortunately, I was not happy with that set. I was not happy with how they put different parts of the car together. I wasn't happy with the end result of how the car actually looked. If you want to hear me rant about how much I did not like that car, and maybe if you're on the fence about it, maybe it'll convince you whether or not to get it. I mean, it's always good to have another speed champion in the collection, but this is just one that, if it wasn't for the fact that it was a Challenger, and then I built it and it was like that, I would not be very happy. But, you want to get my full review, got the link in the comments below, you could go ahead and check it out. Now, last week, I left you with this hint. I'm sure some of you guessed it out there, and if you follow me on Instagram, The Real Chris Bricks, then you'll probably already know what we're building because I reposted it earlier in the week. So, let's bring it out. That's right. Today, we have the Technic Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport. I had to make sure, they have so many variations of the Chiron, I wanted to make sure I said it correctly. That's why I was stumbling over there. But this is one of the newer Technic sets. It looks a lot better than the Bolide, however you say it, that I have. And I'll compare the two side by side so you can get an idea of what they kind of look like. But this one looks better. I wasn't really excited about the Bolide final look. It was kind of funky. But this one, you know, all appearances, seems like it'll be a pretty nice build, a pretty cool one. So, I also like the color. This orange is nice with the black, it really pops. I can't complain about that. And another thing I noticed, which is one of my #1 complaints with this size Technic sets, are the little pegs that stick out past the wheel. And I complain that LEGO never puts a center cap or something on it to hide it because it looks awful. The Valkyrie does it, the Bolide does it. Some of the other smaller ones do it as well, but this one looks like it sits flush with the back one actually having a flat cap, almost like they call it like a number 4, the brown one with a flat end. I don't know the official names of these pieces, but it looks like that's shoved in to hold in the back wheel. We'll see if that's actually the case, but if these are flush, I'm going to be so happy with LEGO. Now, we flip it over to the back side. You can see we got that beautiful taillight going across, a massive spoiler. We have the actual Pure Sport right here, which only has 1,500 horsepower. I mean, come on. That's not much at all, right? And we got the top view. I can already see they got the engine cylinder design that I can't stand that LEGO went to. I really don't like it. Don't care for it. And you could go back a few Technic sets ago that I built and I explained the whole reasoning behind that. So we won't get on that soapbox today. And of course, they have a picture of it in front of the video game. Now, early on in this channel, I had somebody that asked, I can't remember which set it was, but it came with like a code for a video game. I'm not sure if this one is it because I haven't opened the box yet. I haven't checked because I'm doing this with you. This is almost like a sharing time with Chris Bricks, you know? So if it does have a code, I will display the code for everybody to see and use if you play this game or if you want to use it for something else, because at the time I don't play that game. So I had no need for it. I threw it away and didn't know that other viewers of this channel wanted to see it. So hopefully he didn't unsub after all this time and he's still hanging out there and can get this code. So let's go ahead and open up this box. All right, the Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport box is open. Let's get the first thing out of the way. This indeed does have a code, so get prepared. Pause the video, take a screenshot, whatever you need. I'm going to show everybody the code, and feel free to use it however you want for Asphalt Legends. I guess you do have to work for it because the camera has it inverted, but I haven't adjusted that setting. But at least you have the code, you can figure it out easy enough. So good luck to all of you. Hopefully you can enjoy it in the game. Let me know if you win any races with it or if you used it, if it worked. Be awesome. So we have 5 bags, which isn't too bad. This set is 771 pieces. You have 3 accessories. You got the taillight and these 2 stick pieces that are going to go out and do the famous Chiron, kind of ocean spray style design on the side of the car. This car, which surprised me, I didn't really think about it, but now that I open the box, I see there is actually 15 stickers for this car. Not sure why, but indeed, there are 15 stickers for this car. Sorry, that just hurts. I was hoping I was going to get a 2 weeks in a row of 0 stickers, but 15 in this set. Now, as far as the booklet goes, pretty standard booklet for that many 771 pieces. No real glamour shots till the end, which are kind of the ones already on the box, so no need to look at them. There's, I think, 223 steps, about 175 pages of build in this. I'm guessing around a couple hours for the whole thing. Not really sure. First thing you're going to start off, though, is with the chassis and the engine. Well, I was flipping through the book, so we're going to get right into that W16. And one thing I thought was hilarious is seeing the tires for this car. They look like baby miniature tires after building that 1/8 scale Nephilis sitting over there. I absolutely have no room or no spot to put right now. But it's crazy how those tires, the diameter is like the diameter of the steering wheel in that car. It's kind of funny. But like I said, when I get done building this, I'll go ahead and compare it to Bolide so you can kind of see the two together. Honestly, I think this one's going to look a lot better. Not only the color, but also just the design of it. It looks like it has more coverage over the panels and everything. And you can kind of see that in the picture. If it's covered as well as it is on here, actually should look pretty good. It would be a good recommendation. So, let's open bag 1 and get to building. Bag 1 is done. Just under 28.5 minutes, and you get a decent amount done in this bag. As you can see, we got our W16 motor, and when we turn the gears, we got that nice engine moving. Not going to get into my dislikes of the choice for pistons and that in these sets, the modern Technic sets, but let's just say I wish at least, if anything, I don't care for the look of them. I'm not going to get into that. But I wish at least these were metal color. I don't know why they're yellow. Maybe it helps it stand out, and the classic ones were always yellow in the pistons, but I wouldn't mind those being actually metal color, but that's my preference. You can see there's quite a bit of gearing that actually goes into this bag to drive the W16, and you can see both wheels are going to be attached to that gearing, but nothing too complex. We also have all the way driven up here, and we have our steering rack installed. So, like I said, you get quite a bit done. You get steering rack, drivetrain, your W16 going. One thing I will say is I love all the colors. I've mentioned this, I think it was on the M4 competition, Speed Champions, that used all the colorful pieces. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but I mean, look at this. You got like these nice tropical green, you have yellows, you have bright blues, you have dark blues, you have salmon colored. Which, by the way, the pieces on my printed book look bright pink. It's actually the salmon color. And some of the other pieces, they're a little bit off on the coloring. It might be just my book and the printing. But just a heads up, if you're looking for bright pink, it's actually these salmon colored ones. And you can see them used here as well. It's just a lot of bright colors. It makes it a lot more fun when it has those more creative colors. I mean, they serve no purpose other than aesthetics as you're building it, but I enjoy it. Now pieces, you just have tiny little pieces left over. So if you need something bigger than this, check the bag, check the box, check the floor, because it's somewhere else. You get about 6 of these little pieces and that's it. That's the end of bag 1. So we'll open up bag 2 and let's build. Bag 2 is done. About 22 minutes, 29 seconds. You do have a decent amount of stickers, as you can see, that you're going to apply in this bag. You can see them right here on the side a little bit with the French flag on both sides, as well as the hood here. This part is just a piece, but everything here, this piece, and that piece, those are all stickers. So be prepared to align them. The first one I worked on was this long piece here to center it up here, and then I adjusted all the other stickers around that one so that way it could line up the best it could, and didn't do too bad. Can't complain. So bag 2, what did you do? Well, you added a steering wheel, which doesn't function in these cars, and you added seats. We'll get to that in a second. And then we got the front here, which is actually your head. It opens up. It's pretty good too, because I can't remember. I think it was the Ferrari FXXK one where it needs to have some kind of broomstick to hold it up because it like slams down. I think it's a Ferrari or I can't remember, one of them, the hood, the rear hood or latch or whatever, hatch doesn't want to stay and it just falls every time. This one's pretty sturdy. This one is going to stand by itself as long as you have it. And while we have that up, you just have some more of the structure underneath, with A little bit of the dash built. You know, nothing that was really, besides the bright orange hood piece, that's really noticeable. It's a lot of bits and pieces underneath all of this, and that's all bag 2 is. So from my previous videos, you know that I hate the seats in these smaller Technic sets. This little L-shaped plastic piece, to me, is not good enough for a seat. I feel with Lego and all its wisdom and all the pieces available to it in the world could come up with a little better seat than that. But that's just me. You know, you may have your differing opinion on that. But if they are going to use it, in previous ones, they at least gave you a sticker to throw on there to make it look like seat belts or something, even though that sticker didn't cover anywhere near the entirety of the seat, so you kind of had to decide, where am I going to put this? And it looked like crap. What can I say? Sorry, allergies are starting to kick in all of a sudden. These ones, you don't even get a sticker. They're just plain black seats, these L-shaped seats, no details, no stickers even for you this time. I don't know, maybe they heard my last video complaining about the stickers, so they're like, Lego's like, you know what, I'll just take the stickers away from you. Then you can't complain about them. Well, I guess that's true. Now I can't. I can only say that they are missing. Yeah, there's no stickers to apply to these seats that I can see or I'm aware of or that I missed in the instructions. So just know these are going to be plain black plastic bucket seats, and that's about it for the design. Other than that, not much more to talk about. Let's move on to bag 3. Bag 3 is done. 21 minutes, 39 seconds. I like each bag is getting less and less. Hopefully that time continues, so it's not one of those bags where like, oh, it's getting less and less and then 50-minute bag. I don't think it will be in this case, but each bag has been in the 20s, so it hasn't been too bad at all. So what did this bag do? Well, you can see it right here. We got the front of the Chiron Pur Sport. We got the famous 16 with the horseshoe grille on the front. You can kind of see it there. And we built the front splitter. And when you lift up the hood, then you could kind of see everything else we built. We built the fenders. And actually here, it's hard to see, but we have little headlights. And it was pretty neat how they actually did it. I give LEGO a lot of credit on that one. What they did was, and it's really hard to translate on here, you could kind of see the clear pieces where the headlights are. And you know the Chiron has cool like 4 little headlights. And what they did was they had you put the clear smooth blocks, you know, the flat ones, they're all clear, but 4 across, but then you twisted them off of the longer 5 piece, 1x5, but you twisted all of them. So they gave kind of this angled, staggered look that the headlights on the Bugatti Chiron has. And it kind of mimics that effect that it does. It's hard to see it on the camera, but you can kind of see the headlights right there in the reflection. But honestly, looking at it, pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty cool trick that they did right there. I also like the front end. It's starting to come together. It's starting to look good. A lot of coverage. I like LEGO Technic sets that have a lot of coverage because then it feels like the real car. When it has all those weird gaps and everything, it doesn't look like what it's supposed to be. I'm looking at you, Fast and the Furious Technic Super set. I was kind of disappointed. Never ended up buying that one because I just didn't like how it looked at all. But I think a lot of the problem was all the gaps and everything that I was seeing on it. Anyways, we also build part of the rear section as well. That's going to end up being where the radiators are going to sit. Obviously not in this set, but where air would flow through right past the doors. And that is bag 3. So you can get in the front end together. It's looking really good. Now it seems like we're going to transition to the back possibly. Or the roof. I'm not sure what that picture's supposed to be of. But we got a lot of our front done. And it's looking good. And I'm actually looking forward to getting this one done. So let's move on to bag 4. Bag 4 is done. 24 minutes, 19 seconds. Not too bad of a bag, but you can see we got a lot done. We applied a few more stickers. We got it's really hard to see, but these have, right over here, these black pieces in there say Chiron. And we also have our roof built, kind of the rear clamshell. We have our fenders put on, as well as a little bit of aero bits in the back. And the viewing area for your W16, of course. And, quite a bit of outside accessories done. Now, bag 4 wasn't complicated at all, pretty straightforward, and there is only one piece left over. If it's not this black connector, check the bag, check the box, check the floor, because it's somewhere else. But overall, like I said, straightforward bag, not too complicated, and you're just kind of building out the rear section of the car. And honestly, this orange and black combination, even though people might be saying, it's a trick-or-treat special, I like it. I like how it's looking. So let's get on to bag 5 and finish the Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport. So bag 5 is done. And I'm going to use the power of YouTube to go from what bag 4 was to now. Here we go. Bag 5 is done. And what happened? Both my front facing and my overhead both failed to record bag 5. Don't know why. I hit the record buttons, went back to it, nothing. And then it even got better. The device, my watch, that I used to time everything, that died as well. Well, the other two didn't die, they just didn't record, but my watch died. So, the time is kind of an estimation for bag 5. I remember glancing at it before we got towards the end. So if I had to guess, I'd say around 22 minutes. It wasn't a really complicated bag or a bag that would really take you forever. Sorry, I saw a piece loose now that I'm looking down on it. So it really, I can't imagine it would take any more than 24, 25 minutes at the end, but I think I was on pace for around 22 minutes, so that's what I'm going to leave it at. So overall for this, estimated complete build time, since I lost my tracking at the end of bag 5, is about 1 hour and 58 minutes and 48 seconds. Now that's a rough estimate. Like I said, that's not exact because my watch died. But around 2 hours is what you can expect to build this wonderful Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport. And I gotta say, for a Technic set, I actually really like this one. I like the color of it. I like its profile. I like how it looks. You know, got the top view here. For a Technic set, it's a very solid car. It has a lot of panels. It looks good. You got the isometric kind of view going. Massive spoiler. You know, got the bar for the light. The dual exhaust, which is actually a sticker. And might as well talk about it while we're here, right? So this flat piece that you're going to put on right here, this piece here, line it up and see the angle of it. Because if you just slap it on there and don't pay attention, the exhaust pipes are going to be pointing down because of the angle of this piece. Kind of, you know, mock it on there, take note of where it's at, and then put your stickers on. For me, the sticker actually goes all the way to the end where it goes round and then it goes up. My sticker starts on the up piece and then flows underneath, which kind of gives it more of that outwards look like an exhaust would have. I feel if you just started at the curved part, it would be kind of off a bit. So just a heads up. And of course, the pictures were correct. Look at that. Beautiful flush center cap area on the wheels. Love it. This one does have staggered wheel setup, which is something I kind of just notice happening with all the Technic sets of this size. Excuse me. And of course, we have our steering. You can kind of hear the W16 going. As we spin the wheels, we got them going there through that little peephole. We have the massive wing, which actually looks pretty good on this. And this is all sticker, of course. And I will tell you, you can see this little piping right here that goes all the way around. You are going to want to stick it into the side of this. It's not going to be through the actual hole of this piece, but there's going to be like a little, empty part of it that's underneath the second hole. And this piping, that's going to get stuck on it. So you're going to pull on this piping until it can get stuck right there. And that's what's holding it in. Otherwise, this pipe points out this way and it looks really weird. But that's just a tip for that. It tells you that in the instructions, but it may not be clear. It may not be clear to some people. So just a heads up, it tucks into that piece, and that piece is what is holding it. Of course, we got our doors opening up. Looks good. Interior is very, very basic, as it usually is with this size Technic set. Nothing too special there. The doors do close really deep into there. So if you want it to look kind of nice, you kind of gotta make it a little more flush with the side panels. That way it looks more like it's supposed to. Otherwise, the doors go all the way into the passenger and driver's side seat. But overall, I really like this build. I think this is a good looking Technic set. I like how the wheels are done. I do wish that LEGO would take a little more time on their rims for this size Technic set and make it a little more specialized to Bugatti, to Aston Martin, to Ferrari. You know, instead of all of them having this kind of dual 5-spoke setup that they've had for the last 50 years, I feel like. You know, I really wish, you know, just to give it that little pop at the end. You got special wheels on this. Make them a little more low profile and make the rims a little bit bigger, kind of like they would be on the real car, you know? But proportion-wise, I think it all looks good. Like I said, I love the headlights. The camera does not do it justice. In person, these headlights look good. They got kind of that staggered setup, almost like a staircase going up on it. And overall, it was just a really good build. It was very straightforward, nothing complicated at all, maybe a 3 in difficulty. Of course, you have the hood, which does open up. I was grabbing the wrong pieces, but you have your hood that opens up to not really much, but that opens, your doors open, you got steering, you got your drivetrain. Honestly, it was a good build. I definitely recommend this if you don't have this one for your set. I definitely like this one. Stickers, kind of like every time I mention it, anytime they have body colored stickers, the color is always off. The orange on here is more of a flat, pale kind of orange. And I know it looks super bright in this, but you know, compared to the sticker, that's when you really notice how kind of more pale it is. The sticker is more of a really orange metallic, and it stands out like crazy when you actually look at it. So still don't have sticker color matching, which is a shame, but whatever. The rest of this car looks good. I like the black, I like the orange. I want to go trick-or-treating. This thing looks great. So, if you've joined me and gotten this far through the video, or if you just fast forward over here and you like my, 20 minutes of blabbing on about input on how I felt about this car, go ahead and sub, drop a like, put a comment. Did you build this set? What do you think? Is it something that you want to add to your collection? Oh, and before I forget, I did promise that I would compare it to the Bully. So let's cut here and I'll be right back. All right, we're back with the Bully. And as you can kind of see, the Bully is just a different type of car, but you can kind of see how this one has all the panels and everything. This one is really open. I felt like they used minimal panels on this car, and they both have the back ends kind of crazy. And, of course, this one has the pegs that stick out the wheels. I absolutely hate. I hate that they do this. Why can't they make them shorter? LEGO must have been watching my videos, because here's the new set, and look, they're flush. So if everybody wants to drop in the comments, thank you, Chris Bricks, for telling them that. I'm so glad that I no longer have to deal with that ugliness right there. Now my sets have flush, like center cap, hubs, whatever you want to call it, but they look so much better. You can send me gifts, flowers, whatever you want to send me for doing that. I'm sure LEGO heard me because this channel's so big, and they went right ahead and got to work on it. So thank you, LEGO, for doing that. But overall, you got it's much tighter in there. You can kind of see the seat belts on the seats. For this new set, you get nothing for the seats, no sticker. Kind of mentioned that before. Not sure why they took it away and made the seats actually worse than they are, but they did it. And, while this one's nice and covered up, you can kind of see this one is almost completely see-through. So that's kind of the comparison of the two Bugatti sets that I have. Both have the horseshoe front ends. I like this one better. And I know there was, I think, a blue one of this, but I missed out on it. So I have the yellow one. And I understand this one's supposed to be an insane car, but I felt like they could add a little more body panels to it, But that's kind of the comparison. So I told you I would show it off, so I did not want to forget about that. So, we already mentioned subs. We're only 5 away from 100 subs on this channel. You don't understand how much that means to me. Like I always say, time is the most precious commodity out there. And the fact that you even take 30 seconds, 2 minutes of your day to check out my thoughts on these vehicles or the build or the time lapse, whatever it may be, I really appreciate that. And I can't believe we're almost to 100 subs. I never thought that this channel would get that far. I know that sounds crazy because people have 10,000, 100,000 million subs, and 100 to them is, they could lose that in a day. But for a channel like this, doing it part-time, just enjoying myself, just doing something I love, like building block sets, something I've liked since I was a kid. It's just great that other people can appreciate it and join along with this, each week's an adventure, unless it's a 5-week adventure, and then it's kind of epic at that point, right? But thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm also on Instagram, right about there. And over 700 followers. Absolutely love it. I love seeing builds on Instagram, so that's why I'm a part of it. Community's great, very supportive. And if you're on there, come follow, check me out, hit me up in the messages. I get a ton of them, so I do try to get to them. It's a little overwhelming sometimes with the amount of messages I see each day that I log in. But thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your week and keep building. Hey everyone, Chris Bricks here. Obviously, I was thrown off a bit by nothing recording time and video when it came to bag 5, so much so that I forgot to tell you next week's hint. So, let's leave it at this. Red Bull gives you wings. I'll see you next week.